It's the final tournament of the DP World Tour season, the final Rolex Series event as well. We are here at Jumeirah for the DP World Tour Championship. Of course, the prestigious title is on the line, as well as the season-long points race. We've got a great show coming your way. Nicholas Colsaerts and Incy Mehmet will be alongside me in the studio. Ryan Fox is popping in as well, a two-time winner this season. What a year he's had, and what a season it's been so far. Welcome to the Zoom Virtual Clubhouse.
I've been running around catching fireflies, trying to breathe.
Thomas Pieters is back at golf's top table. Dazzling display in the desert by Nicolai Højgaard.
Like flowers in the hall I built between to keep us.
Unbelievable from Olesen.
To fall back.
A victory for Victor Perez.
History's been made in Sweden. We have a female champion on the DP World Tour.
Absolutely brilliant from Hao Tong Lee. He is a Rolex Series winner.
Shane Lowry is the BMW PGA champion. Emotional win, emotional week.
And Fox has his place in history. Mission accomplished for Jon Rahm.
Hello and welcome to a very hot and sunny Jumeirah Golf Estates. It's the final Zoom Virtual Clubhouse of the season at the DP World Tour Championship. We've got a packed show coming your way. Ryan Fox, who's second in the season-long standings, is popping in, as well as young gun Richard Mansell. I'll be catching up with one of the stars of G4D as well, Kip Popper. And I'm delighted to say, alongside me in the studio, making his debut, Nicholas Colsaerts and Incy Mehmet, of course. We want you guys at home to get involved as well. So if you've got questions for any of our guests, as well as Nico or Incy, get them in on the Q&A function. And there's also a competition to take part in with an awesome prize. Incy, how can they get involved in that?
Yeah, so Kit's just touched upon how you guys can get involved too. And one of them is actually getting involved with the poll. And the question is, what was Collin Morikawa's winning score at the 2021 DP World Tour Championship? I mean, technically speaking, you could Google it, but do not. You've got to really test yourself here. Get involved. Is it A, -14? Is it B, -17? Is it C, -19? Or D, -22? Do get involved.
And what's the prize for that one, Incy?
And of course, sorry, thank you. So the tickets, you can win 2 tickets to any event on the DP World Tour of your choice for next season as well. So brilliant prizes up for grabs.
That is an awesome prize. Of course, Ryan Fox, one of 7 guys vying to top the standings after the end of the season this week. Who is going to come out on top? It has been an amazing year, and it all boils down to this. Of course, Rory's at the top, but let's start with Ryan Fox, Nico, second in the standings, playing exclusively on the DP World Tour this season. How impressed have you been by him?
Well, I'm going to speak in behalf of the whole golfing world. When you have somebody that has been as consistent, that has won a few times, could have won a few more, has an unbelievable amount of top tens, and I think all of us are a big fan of Fox. It's just because of who the person is and how approachable he is, and of course what his golf game looks like.
Another of those contenders, Matt Fitzpatrick. It's been a huge year for him. His maiden major victory as well. Of course, Rory's got back to world number one. Fitzy's got his first major this season. What would you rather have? Would you rather be the top dog, or would you have that major on the CV?
That's actually a very difficult question. I mean, I think that when you can say to the world that you have been number one at basically anything, I mean, that's something that stands out. Winning a major, of course, in professional sports is how you are remembered in history, but being world number one at anything is something quite unbelievable.
See, that answer surprised me a little bit. I thought from a golfer's point of view, the majors were everything. What about you, Incy?
It's a really quite a good question, that. It did get me thinking. For me, I'm with Nico here. I think you definitely want to be the best of your trade in whatever you do. And I think if you are world number one, you are on top of the world. You know, you can walk to this venue and be top dog, you know, and I think you've got to win majors to an extent to get there. Obviously, you don't have to, but I think that's almost part of it. So I think for me, I would much rather be world number one.
Okay, interesting. Well, Rory McIlroy is coming in as the top dog and the man to catch this week. Let's take a look at some of the highs and lows of his season.
I think there's always excitement and anticipation about a new year.
Oh, take that.
You're obviously not going to win every week, but if you can give yourself a chance at least every week, that's a really good start. And you're going to win some, you're going to lose some.
No even plus.
I just sort of thought to myself, what the hell, let's just give it a go here.
What a shot, is it? Oh, would you believe that?
I've been knocking on the door so much this year. St Andrews was really hard for me.
Rory comes up shy. And the FedEx Cup signed, sealed and delivered by Rory McIlroy.
I went up against the best player in the world today and I took him down. You're going to win some that you probably shouldn't, and you're going to lose some that you probably should win.
But how close McIlroy came.
PGA Tour season's over for me. You know, turn my attention to Europe.
There's an eagle too, and there's the spark we've been waiting for.
Well, Rory has achieved virtually everything there is to do in the golfing world, but one thing missing from his CV, somewhat surprisingly, Nico, is a Rolex Series win. Obviously, this is a Rolex Series event. What do you make of his chances this week, and how impressed have you been by his resurgence getting back to world number one?
Well, I mean, we're still talking about Rory McIlroy. So anytime he's going to come to one of our big events on the DP World Tour, especially at a course like this one that requires a high ball flight, he was going to have a huge advantage of the tee. He can cut corners, he can fly bunkers. And like I said, he's Rory McIlroy. I mean, we all know he's capable of shooting 4 straight 64s. So he's always going to be somebody that's going to be in the mix coming Sunday.
Incy, what's been your highlight of the season so far from Rory?
I think him just becoming world number one again is it's something different when he's world number one. He's definitely got a different aura and presence for me anyway, and he definitely makes a strong impact in this game. I love watching him play. I love every single time he tees it up, it looks like he's going to win. So he brings that kind of exciting dominance, I think, in the modern game.
Yeah, Nico, what does it do for golf as a whole to have Rory as that figurehead at the top of it?
Well, I think he's a very likable character. I think a lot of people, you know, you could consider or you can compare him to someone like Roger Federer. You know, he has a really magical way of swinging the club, like he plays the shots. You know, he bounces around the golf course, and he's pretty sound. I mean, for what he has become, being world number one and being the flag carrier of European golf for a couple of years, you know, he seemed like a very, very approachable guy.
Well, from Rory to his main challenger this week, Ryan Fox, a 3-time DP World Tour winner, and the most recent of those victories came in a very special week at the Dunhill Links Championship.
He absolutely loves golf. He loved this tournament, and you know, he was an idol of mine growing up. I bowled leg spin. There wasn't too many New Zealand leg spinners over the years, so yeah, I grew up watching him. To be able to call him a mate was pretty special, and he's certainly going to be missed by many. I definitely noticed a lot of Kiwis out there, and on top of that, my parents travelled up from New Zealand for 4 weeks, and yeah, pretty special to have them out here.
Fox, his second at 12, awkward.
Tricky. Oh, nicey. Well done. It was venturing right.
I felt like I had a little bit of help up there today. Like I said, to get a win around the old course is very special. when you're playing with a lead, you're just trying not to make a big mistake. A few holes where you can make a big mistake down those last 3 and 15, that was huge.
Oh, man. I was just thinking, could easily leave it short. A cry for the New Zealanders right into the heart of the cup.
And Fox has his place in history. He is a winner at St Andrews. The first New Zealander to win the Alfred Dunhill Links Championship. And he's done it in front of his dad. And no doubt there will be 1 or 2 thoughts as well for the late, great Shane Warne.
I'm delighted to say Ryan Fox joins us in the studio. Ryan, I mean, an emotional VT there. Looking back, what did it mean to you, that win at St Andrews?
Yeah, I mean, it was huge. To win at the home of golf is very special, and I did it with my family there, which made it even more special. And then obviously, had the memories of Warnie and being my partner for quite a few years there, and it was emotional, but yeah, it doesn't get much better really.
It's been an incredible year for you. How do you kind of summarise your growth on the course and what you've achieved in 2022?
Probably the only way I can describe it's a little bit surreal, to be honest. I mean, I didn't expect it at the start of the year. I've exceeded all my expectations quite comfortably, and I've certainly been enjoying the ride. It's been fun, and to be in this position now at the end of the year is pretty cool. I probably would have laughed at you if you'd have suggested it to me at the start of the year, but I've played great and been consistent, and long may it continue.
Yeah, 10 top 10s, the 2 wins, of course, 4 more runners up. I think we're going to take a look at some of your highlights throughout this season. What has enabled you to take your game to the next level this year?
I mean, everything's been better, which is always a nice thing. I've probably the biggest improvement's been in the putting, but it's hard to pinpoint anything specifically. It's just, I think winning early in the year kind of took a lot of the pressure off. Obviously, it was a couple of tough years with COVID, and I've been able to enjoy the off the golf course stuff, have the family travel, and know I can get home to New Zealand if I was needed or anything like that. So, yeah, a bit happier off the golf course, and that makes it a bit easier to play well on the golf course too.
Was there, I mean, you just mentioned the first win in Ras Al Khaimah, but was there a specific moment during your season where you thought, this smells good, now I'm going to keep the foot down, and this could really be a year to be remembered?
I think when I came back, obviously I won in RAC, and then I went home for 8 weeks or something like that, and then sort of came back and had a couple of half decent results in Spain straight away, and then almost won in Belgium, and thought, okay, this is, I haven't let the foot off the gas here, and I've got myself in the top 100 to get into the PGA, and thought, okay, well, I've got, hopefully I can take advantage of this good form this year, and from there it's somehow got better, to be honest, which surprised me to be a little bit.
How would you describe the atmosphere here this week? Does it feel like there's a lot of eyeballs on you?
Maybe a little bit. I think obviously it'd be a cool story if I won the rankings over Rory or Fitz. But I still don't feel like I'm in that echelon of player at all. So I still feel like I can go under the radar. I'm certainly not the favourite to win this week or anything like that. But it's nice to have a bit more attention, and I've sort of enjoyed that part of it a little bit at the back end of the year. And this event feels pretty cool to see my name. I like walking to 18T. I'm up on one of the signs and stuff like that, which is again, if you'd have said that at the start of the year, I probably wouldn't have believed you. But it's a pretty cool position to be in now.
It's been amazing to watch you this year as well. Well, we do have a few questions that we would love to ask you, and this is from the viewers. The first question from anonymous attendee: have you had to reset your expectations for next season after the awesome year that you've had?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, next year looks like I'm going to get in a bunch of those top 50 events in the States, and play most of the majors and the match play. So, I mean, and just in that respect, it's all everything's changed. So, I've never been huge on goal setting. I'll write them down at the start of the year, but don't look at them too much. It's certainly it will change a little bit next year, but I think I've done really well this year at just sort of staying in staying in the moment, not thinking about any of the external stuff too much, and just going out and trying to beat the golf course every week. So in that regard, I hope nothing changes next year.
And those goals that you talked about, do you share it with the whole team, or do you keep it close to your chest?
I keep it pretty close. I mean, they're not overly interesting, to be fair. It was the start of the year was to win again and to get in the top 50, and it was pretty cool to get that done pretty early in the year, and then it was definitely a bit of a reset later in the year to obviously to stay in the top 50 was probably the big one to try to get the Masters invite for the end of the year. So I think I'm looking pretty good for that now.
Okay, we've got another question from.
Pretty safe.
Yeah,
pretty safe. I think you can book your accommodation. You're good.
We've got another question from James. Which win did you celebrate the hardest this year, and what did you do that evening? If you can tell us.
Yeah, okay. The one was rack. I actually didn't celebrate that hard with Dunham. We had my whole family there and a 2-year-old, so that's a little bit harder to get loose. But rack, it's a little bit of a long story. So we commandeered the Players' Lounge. There's a couple of Kiwis come up from Dubai who I know, and we started on the ciders, then the gin and tonics, and it happened to be the one of the hospitality guys who ran a lot of rack was a Kiwi, and he was putting chocolate and wine in my locker during the week, which was great, by the way. And he goes, "Why are you drinking gin and tonics by one? I'll just go get the bottle." So we walked behind the bar, grabbed the bowl, chucked it down on the table, and that was us. We were in trouble. And we ended up turning the lights on and playing the 18th in the dark, under lights at, I wouldn't have a clue what time it was. All I remember is Joost Luiten doing the full Superman on top of the cart driving down the 18th fairway. I think we played it there was about 15 of us played it. I think we found 3 balls off the tee. Joost holed a 70-footer for eagle across the green and just danced around like a crazy man. I left the golf club, I think at about 3, and I was on a flight at 8:15 that morning back home. And if we were still doing quarantine in New Zealand at that time. So if I missed the flight, I couldn't get back home. So when I got back to the hotel room, I'm getting picked up in an hour and a half. I'm not going to bed. So I stayed up. I talked to a couple of people on the phone that I don't remember. And then I ended up in the Emirates lounge, sitting on a chair, shivering after no sleep, going, "Why did I do this?" And I had 7 days in a hotel to get over my hangover, and I used a good 4 of them.
Wow, I didn't expect such an in-depth
That is absolutely
explanation.
sensational. That is exactly how a victory should be celebrated. You're a pretty natural player, Ryan, a swift pace of play as well. But how much do you keep an eye on the numbers and your statistics?
Not at all, to be honest.
Not at all.
No, we wouldn't have a clue.
Well, we have looked at them and they're actually pretty good.
We have. So
let us do it for you.
So 3.3 million in prize money, that's pretty good. You mentioned the world rankings and being in that top 50 for Augusta in the majors next year. Well, you're definitely there. You're at a career high 24. You're 3rd in strokes gained approach this year as well, 2nd in putts per green in regulation. Obviously, you're playing brilliantly, but does that back up what it feels about your game at the moment there, where the strengths are?
Yeah, I think a big improvement this year has been my wedge play. So I think that's showing in the shots gained approach. And then I think, obviously, if you're high up in the approach play, you've probably got a few good birdie chances. And I definitely have improved the putting a lot this year. I think from what I've seen, I'm probably close to the top 50 in putting, which normally I'm in the bottom 50 somewhere. So that certainly helps out a lot in taking advantage of those good shots. So, yeah, it's been sort of one of those years where everything's improved a little bit, and it's nice to see that the stats kind of do back up how I feel like I'm playing.
And of course, you've got a great chance to win those rankings this week. What would it mean to you to finish off the season in that manner?
Oh, look, it'd be amazing. Yeah, I think I'd be the first Kiwi to do it, apparently, which is something in itself. And I mean, we've just had Steve Alker win the Champions Tour rankings. Lydia's got a chance to win the LPGA rankings this weekend. So it's pretty cool for New Zealand golf in general, regardless if I get it done or Lydia gets it done or not. So, yeah, I'd like to say it was a goal of mine to do it, but never has been. But it's, yeah, I've got nothing to lose this week. Obviously, Rory's the favourite. I'm really proud of where I am now, just to give myself a good chance going into this week, and yeah, give it a run and see what happens. I mean, I'm not going to change anything in terms of what I've done this year. I said it earlier. I've just gone out and tried to beat the golf course and trust that my good golf's generally been good enough. And this year I've played a lot of good golf, and it's been good enough a lot of the time. So hopefully in that respect, it's the same this week.
Ryan, congratulations on a fabulous season. Thank you so much for your time and popping in to chat with us. Well, I've been catching up with the CEO of the DP World Tour, Keith Pelly, to find out about this incredible season and what lies ahead. Keith, thank you for joining us.
No worries, it's great to be here. It's fantastic, isn't it?
It's great to have you here, and what a place to be as well, here in sunny Dubai. What are your reflections on the 2022 DP World Tour season?
I think 2022 was a phenomenal year, our first year as DP World being the title partner. And it also showed once again the brilliance of a pure meritocracy. When you saw the likes of Oliver Wilson, Jordan Smith, and last week, Tommy Fleetwood showing incredible emotion, crying during their wins. It was really heartwarming. And it's once again, as I said, it was the DP World Tour's first year as titled DP World. And it is in fact a world tour. When you think about, we've had winners from 17 different countries and 4 continents. We've seen the rise of Ryan Fox, who nobody endured more than he did during the pandemic. And to see him this week in contention and having the year that he's had has been absolutely spectacular. And then perhaps the highlight is Matthew Fitzpatrick. His win at the US Open at Brookline was incredible. His bunker shot was phenomenal. We were all cheering for him. So it was, it's been a spectacular year. Hospitality tickets and tickets in general have been up over 32% with the BMW in Scotland and the British Masters leading the way. So overall, it's been a terrific year, and once again has showcased us as being the world tour that we are.
The finale of the season here at Jumeirah Golf Estates is always a very special week. What are you especially looking forward to?
Well, I'm looking forward to another thrilling finish. There always seems to be a thrilling finish here on the Earth Course at the Jumeirah Golf Estates at the final of our end of the year DP World Tour Championship. So it's going to be spectacular. I think it really is, and the weather is going to make it that much more interesting because you're going to have to keep hydrated with the temperatures. There's never a cloud in the sky. It's unbelievable. I'm also really looking forward to Friday and Saturday, which is our G4D final, which is golf for the disabled. And that is going to be something for a lot of the fans to see, because we're expecting record crowds this week, and for them to see both the golfers with a disability play on Friday and Saturday, while at the same time seeing a thrilling finish on Sunday, which I know we're going to get. Yeah, it's a week you can't help but get excited about.
The DP World Tour and the PGA Tour further strengthened their relationship this year. What benefits has that brought to the players and the fans?
Oh, for the players, you have guaranteed prize funds and growth for the next 5 years, with an opportunity to extend it for many years beyond that. Plus, we've introduced the earnings assurance program. So for the players, they're pretty excited about 2023. I'm excited about the schedule as well. And we're already working forward towards the 2024 schedule, which will feature fewer events with higher prize funds and more entertaining for the fans. I think for the fans, I think the biggest thing is that the next year you're going to see even more of the young superstars coming through. If you take a look at what has transpired and what's happening right now at Q School, what happened at the Challenge Tour, some of the young names that are coming through, it's going to be great to watch. Well, at the same time, I'm pretty excited about the Hero Cup, which is the first event in January of 2023. So that is an interesting event that'll feature some of the best players from Great Britain and Ireland versus the best from continental Europe. And of course, sitting here at the Tommy Fleetwood Academy, Tommy is one of the captains with Francesco Molinari. So there's lots to look forward to for both the fans and the players in 2023.
And of course, next year we've got the Ryder Cup coming up as well. Marco Simone in Italy at the end of the season. What can fans expect from that, and how much are you looking forward to it?
Wow. To have the Ryder Cup in Italy, and we've anticipated this for a long time. It was delayed 1 year based on COVID. That allows us to tweak some of the changes to Marco Simone, which is just 11 kilometers from Rome. We've had 700,000 plus people requesting tickets. We'll have 45,000 there a day. Luke Donald has embraced the role of Ryder Cup captaincy. He's got two unbelievable vice captains in Eduardo Molinari and, of course, the 2018 Ryder Cup captain, Thomas Bjorn. I'm energized by the thought of playing in Rome, looking at our team. There'll be a great collection of veterans with a couple of new rookies. Luke's got his work cut out for him selecting the team. He's got 6 picks, so he'll be watching carefully. But obviously, with the way that he played last week in South Africa, I said that maybe he'll be on the team himself, but he's made it perfectly clear that he will be the captain. So, yeah, Italy, Rome, next year, it will definitely be the highlight of 2023.
So much to look forward to moving ahead into next season. And as this one comes to a close, Keith, thank you for your time.
It's been great, and it's great to be back here in Dubai. We have a long history here and at the Jumeirah Golf Estates, and to play on the Earth course this week is always a treat.
Great to hear from Keith there. Just a reminder as well, we've got Richard Mansell popping into the studio very shortly, so get your questions in for him on the Q&A function. But just before that, it's also been a big year for G4D, and I caught up with one of their stars, Kip Poppert. Kip, great to see you.
Nice to see you, Kit. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good.
More importantly, how are you? How much are you looking forward to the final event of the season on the G4D Tour?
Yeah, it's been a brilliant year, and this is just going to finish it off with a high, I guess. So it's lovely, weather's nice, can't complain.
Yeah, weather's beautiful. Tell us a bit about G4D and what it is for those people that might not know.
Yeah, so I think it stands for Golf for the Disabled, and there's been 6 events prior to this, 10 competitors, all in the world rankings. We've been playing on Monday, Tuesday, 36 holes. And yeah, it's thanks to the EDGA and the Deeper World Tour, there's been this tour created, so it's been brilliant.
What's the creation of this tour meant for you?
Opportunity, I think. My aim is to play on the Deeper World Tour one day and compete, and this is just providing me a stepping stone to do that. And also, I think weirdly, it's made me feel more comfortable with my disability. In school, I maybe wasn't. I tried to hide away from it, and then coming here and meeting, for me, it's actually meeting all the other players. I'm talking about G4D players, because we've all had setbacks in our life and used golf to keep us going, and it's just been brilliant to get to know them all.
Could you have imagined maybe 2 or 3 years ago even where you would be and where disability golf would be right now?
No, to be honest. I only started disability golf because I saw it on the European Tour in 2019. So I guess with all this TV coverage, that's what I'm hoping will happen for other kids. And yeah, well, I'm just going to keep playing as best I can to help this grow as big as it can.
Your best has been pretty good this year, hasn't it?
It's been okay.
Tell us about the highlights. You've had multiple ones.
Yeah, I think for me the highlight was the BMW, was one of them for personal reasons. They actually did a documentary on me a few weeks before, and they asked me a few questions about my cousin. And so to win that, I was really thinking of him, so that meant a lot. Then obviously Valderrama. With all the members at my home club, I'd been telling them that was the one I was looking forward to the most, because all the tour players had said how that was the toughest challenge. And then to play the way I did around there was brilliant, and got a hole-in-one as well, so that was cool.
That is amazing. How did you celebrate the hole-in-one and the win?
How did I? I still had one more round to go, so I didn't celebrate. And then they gave me a bottle of champagne, so I just shared it with the other players, and that was cool.
What's been the camaraderie like? Because as you say, you've got the other 9 guys competing each week as well, and it has given you this great opportunity to show what you can all do to the world. Is there that sense of shared community with you?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very competitive as well. We're all friends off the golf course, but on it, we're competing for a trophy. And as I say, I think for me, it's just the realization that it's nice not to be alone. I always thought maybe I was the only person with a disability trying to be an elite golfer. And there's a lot more, and there's a lot more coming through. So this tour has got a long way to go, and it's only going to get better. So.
Yeah, it's only the beginning, and for you as well. Let's see you hit a few shots. Okay. What are you working on in your game at the moment?
What am I working on? So for me, the biggest thing for me to get to DP World Tour standard and win on the DP World Tour is clubhead speed. Growing up with cerebral palsy, for those that don't know, it means that my muscles are very tight and contracted. So producing power and speed has always been a struggle. I've been very fortunate. Lockdown actually helped me because I was basically training like a weightlifter 6 days a week, but not walking around.
Yeah.
And with my cerebral palsy, I use about 30 to 45% more energy than an average person to move. So I would practice all day, go to the gym and not have any energy to build muscle. Lockdown, I was just going to the gym and sitting on the sofa. So it sort of taught me how to go about building muscle, and my clubhead speeds increased massively because of that. And then I've also had 10 operations and my feet feel the best they've felt, so I'm able to push through the ground and use my body to the best of my ability. And yeah, so statistically my driving is my strength, but to get it further down the fairway will really help. And then what else am I working on? A bit similar to that is my proximity from 210 to 150, even though my dispersion's very tight. If I can have higher shots in, so less club, that will increase my proximity to the hole. So basically, I'm just trying to hit as far as I can, which is something fun to practice at least.
You and every other golfer, I think, to be fair. Yeah. We're all trying to find a few more yards.
Absolutely.
Clipping that beautifully. And just finally looking to this week's event, what would it mean to you to finish off what has been an incredible season already with yet another win?
Yeah, if I get the win, that's brilliant, but I do what I always do, which is just play each shot as I can. My mum and dad are out here, so that'll be pretty cool. My mum doesn't know much about golf, so that's nice that she just comes out to watch me. And also we're in Dubai, it's not that bad, is it? So yeah, my aim is to win, and there's a lot of good players playing, and I'll give it my best shot, and whoever picks up the trophy deserves it.
Kip, congratulations on an unbelievable season and all the best this week.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Appreciate it.
Well, Kip's story is an amazing one. If you want to hear more about it, you can go and see the Rolex Series on the DP World Tour YouTube channel. You can also find out a little bit more about Nicholas Colsaerts and Ryan Fox on there as well. But for now, I'm very pleased to say our second guest is with us, Richard Mansell. Rich, good morning.
Good morning.
Congratulations on a great season so far. You've qualified for your debut appearance here at the DP World Tour Championship. How pleased are you with how far you've come this season?
Yeah, absolutely. When the start of the season came and I kind of didn't have my full card out here and I had to make the decision between playing Challenge Tour or playing on the main tour when I would get in events. Obviously this was one of the goals, but at the time it was like a big achievement to get this far. So to do it without winning as well kind of shows how consistently we've been up there. And yeah, I'm happy. I've made a lot of progress this year and I'm looking forward to keep trying to get better.
Yeah, 6 top 10s this season. What have you learned from all of your experiences, including being in contention?
Just that you don't have to do a lot different, I think. Obviously I haven't won yet, but I've had chances to, and like you say, it's hard to explain to people, but until you put yourself in those situations, you don't really know how you're gonna get on. All you can kind of do is control what you do, and obviously there's been a couple of times where I needed to control it probably a little bit better, but that's happened now and it's in the past, and I'm looking forward to another opportunity this week.
My good friend and ex-caddy, Ozzy Bry, worked for you earlier this season, and the one thing that he was impressed with was the quality of your game from tee to green. So having your first look at this golf course, which requires a lot of that, how do you like it?
I love it, yeah. I mean, I've never played a tournament here, but I've played here a couple of times in the winter when I've been here in Dubai, and yeah, it really kind of suits good driver of the golf ball, but then kind of hitting into greens as well. It's definitely a tee to green golf course, so yeah, like I say, I'm looking forward to trying to use my strengths this week.
Lindsay, we've got some questions coming in.
Yeah, we've got a couple of questions. This is from Flo. What does a typical practice day look like before a tournament?
Well, this week's a little bit hotter than normal, so but yeah, obviously we've come from Africa last week where you kind of were playing at altitude and different grass types and so on. So you come here and the first thing is to kind of make sure you're on top of your yardages again, just because kind of being back at sea level is a lot different to last week. Yeah. So making sure we're in control of the numbers. I had to spend a little bit more time with my coach this week just because I didn't play great last week. I wasn't wasn't in control of my golf swing like I normally am. So we kind of had to hit the reset button, just kind of go over some basics. So, and then the biggest thing for me is just if I can kind of make sure that my strengths, driver and so on is in a good spot. So check them on the range and then get the speed of the greens. These greens are a lot quicker than Africa last week. Obviously, the weather we had really slowed them down. So, yeah, and then make sure we're holding out well. And hopefully the score should take care of itself then.
Okay, yeah. And we've got another question. What about your focus for next year in 2023? You know, is Hero Cup on your mind at all? And do you want to be part of the team? And we've got the captain recently announced behind us, Tommy Fleetwood.
Yeah, absolutely. When that came out, it would be a huge honour to obviously represent Great Britain. The idea behind the event, I think, is a great one in terms of getting guys together at an early stage and hopefully guys who can make future Ryder Cup teams. Obviously, it's a huge goal to play in a Ryder Cup one day. So to kind of get match play experience, obviously as an amateur you play a little bit, but we don't play much as a pro at all. So yeah, it gives kind of, it's just a nice start to the season. Obviously the week before Abu Dhabi as well, which will be my first event of next season. It kind of fits the schedule really well. So hopefully a good week here and hopefully we can make that team.
Yeah, best of luck with that.
Rich, you're one of 9 debutants here this week. There seems to be a real emergence of young talent coming through. You've mentioned the Hero Cup, of course, the Ryder Cup at the back end of next year. There's undoubtedly going to be some rookies in that. How much are you enjoying being a part of this new wave of European golf?
Yeah, I think, like you say, with things that have happened in the world of golf over the last year or so, it needs to happen. I think you look at all of the tours over the world and there's so many good golfers and there's arguably not enough places for people to play. So if we can kind of bring some younger guys forward and start performing, and you look at, I mean, I haven't won this year, but there's been Yannick Paul who's won, a couple others, Tristan Lawrence, Ewan Ferguson. There's been guys who, and there's a lot of guys who are good enough to win out here kind of thing. So yeah, like I say, there's strength and depth in a lot of tours, but there definitely is on this tour too. So it's nice to kind of see some of the younger guys up there a lot, and obviously 9 debutants at the DP World Tour Championship is a good number. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't really like actually these young boys coming out here and all guns blazing and hitting it past you where you've always hit past everyone.
No one hits it past you, Nico.
No, you'd be surprised. I mean, I just hit 40 a couple of days ago and now you got these guys that hitting it 20 past me. I mean, it's not that much fun anymore.
What advice would you give to Richard, looking to break through, looking to get his first win? You've been there, you've won on the tour, you've got to a Ryder Cup and been a hero with Medina as well. What is it that Rich needs to do to get to that level?
Well, I mean, he's come off a really steady and really good season. I think the best advice would be to ride the wave and enjoy the journey and take the positive from every week or every good performance. Keep that into the little box of, I'm going to keep this in there and remember this for later, because every bit of experience that you gather throughout these good performances are something that are going to become quite valuable at a certain stage. And if he makes it into these teams, into the Hero one, then who knows, maybe he's going to be in Italy coming later. And that's all I wish for somebody that has that sort of, or that player of a caliber.
Rich, Nico mentioned enjoying the journey there. How much are you enjoying it? I remember meeting you for the first time on the PGA Euro Pro Tour. You've done the hard yards to get here. You're showing you can do it at this level. And you've got Ellie, your fiance, I think, out here with you this week as well. Your Connor, your caddy is one of your best mates. How much is it about appreciating what you've got and where you've got to, as well as, of course, setting goals to kick on?
Absolutely. I mean, I am my biggest critic, and it's kind of like you say, when you have chances to win and you don't get it done, it's upsetting, because that's why we play this game, to win. But also remembering a couple of years ago, I was playing on the Euro Pro Tour, and then getting my Challenge Tour card was a big thing, and played out there, and kind of then COVID happened, but managed to get my starts out here from that. And yeah, you remember kind of where you've come from, and it's not always been sunshine and rainbows. So to be out here, I mean, I remember as a kid, if someone said to me, you'll be playing on the DP World Tour in your first couple of years as a pro, and in your first year on tour, making it to the DP World Tour final when you didn't even have your card at the start of the year, I'd kind of tell them they were having a bit of a laugh, to be honest. So yeah, absolutely. Reminding yourself of stuff like that and how far you've come is definitely an important thing, but then it's not to lose sight of the goals that you have, and to kind of just keep working hard and know that, like you say, it's nothing's guaranteed out here, so you've got to put the work in, but you have to enjoy yourself, because like you say, you don't know if you are going to be next year or whatever.
Football World Cup's just around the corner over in Qatar, not far from here. I know you're a big football fan, big Liverpool fan. What do you think of England's chances?
This doesn't sound
I'm
good
not.
at all.
I'm not the most hopeful. I'll try and stay positive, and obviously, the Euros was a heartbreak for all of us. So yeah, it'll be a big achievement to kind of obviously win, but it's been a while, hasn't it? So no, I don't think it's this year. I think we've got some great talent, but I don't think yet we've quite figured it out. So I'm going to say we're not going to win the World Cup.
Oh, it's a bad prediction. I'm saying we're going to win it. Talking of great talent and great footballing talent, James Milner, the former England player and Liverpool player, was here earlier in the week and we had a chat. Oh, he's here.
Oh, there
he was about to escape. James Milner, Liverpool player. I'm a Liverpool fan, so it's an honour to meet you, James. How are you?
I won't say who I support, but it's good to meet you too.
Nice to meet you.
James, you're here playing in the Prime. How much are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, it's always great fun. I think, play with the top guys and see how good they are, and just puts shine on how poor we are. But yeah, it's always fun as long as you enjoy it.
What is it about footballers in golf? Because they absolutely love it, don't they?
I think it's 4 hours to get away from everything, I think. And obviously we're always competitive, so you want to be the best you can be. But obviously golf, we all know how difficult it is. It's incredibly infuriating sport. You can be amazing one day and come out the next day, think you've cracked it and be garbage. So as long as you have fun, that's the main thing. But yeah, I think that competitive side, it's always a challenge, obviously, as we know.
Can you give us a bit of insight to your own game? What do you play off?
Off about 5 now, I've just come down. Most of the time iron's pretty solid, and off the tee, short game's probably normally the weakness. Putting's okay mostly, but short game's probably the bit that lets me down.
You're involved in golf from a professional standpoint as well, bit of management as well. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, White Rose Sports Management's been going for a few years, and we've got some solid players on the tour. Obviously, Jonna Thurman won on tour. And then a couple of younger guys who played in the Walker Cup, Jack Dyer and Ben Schmidt, who had his first pro win not long ago, Ben Schmidt. So obviously there's a lot of things which are similar, football to golf, and hopefully we can share stories and share experiences and, help on that mental side for sure. And, we want to help on that performance side.
James, great to see you. I know you've got a whiz off to the Pro-Am, so thank you for hanging around and chatting to us.
Thank you.
So you can see very busy down here on the range. The stars of today, the stars of the future going through their pace as well, looking to make a name for themselves this week in the DP World Tour Championship. That's all we've got time for from Incy and I down here. Let's head back to the studio. Great to hear from James there. Well, as part of its commitment to help grow the global game and impact the community in a positive way, DP World has been collecting unwanted golf balls at events throughout the season. Let's take a look. Now, sustainability, a really big part of the DP World Tour ethos these days, so great to see that. Okay, guys, prediction time. We're coming to the end of the show. We've got an incredible tournament ahead of us. Incy, who is going to win this week, and what is the winning score going to be?
I get first dibs, do I?
You get first dibs. I'm giving you the honour.
Absolutely honoured, thank you. Well, I think the obvious pick would be Rory McIlroy. Every time he tees it up, it looks like he's going to win. If not, he's close enough. However, when I said thinking out the box, I'm absolutely not thinking out the box. My next best pick would be Matt Fitzpatrick, because he won back in 2016 and 2020, finished runner-up last year. He clearly likes the golf course, very comfortable. And I think, Nico's touched it earlier in the show. You need to be great tee to green. He's brilliant off the tee, and I think he's a brilliant putter as well. So that combination of being a great driver of the golf ball, finding those fairways and rolling them in, Matt Fitzpatrick, he's my pick.
What scores are you going to get to do it?
Oh gosh, let's just say 11 under.
Hey, Nico, what are you thinking?
I'm gonna stick with my man Foxy. Just because I think that if he pulls this off, I think it would be just an incredible story. I think he's been unbelievable the whole year. The family background and New Zealand and maybe a ticket parade when he goes back to New Zealand like Michael Campbell had when he won the US Open. So all that kind of stuff makes me go for Foxy at probably, I'd say close to 18 under par.
Brilliant. So we had a poll going, and the prize will be selected and handing out after the show. So you've got no more time to enter, but put us out of our misery and see what was the winning answer.
The winning score, drum roll please. It was 17 under par. So if you got that right, the Zoom Clubhouse team will get in touch with you and you'll win those 2 tickets to any DP World Tour event. It's pretty cool.
That is an amazing prize. Thank you so much, Nico and Incy, for joining us today in the Zoom Virtual Clubhouse. To all of the guests as well, Ryan Fox, Kip Popper, Richard Mansell and Keith Pelly. It's the final event of the season. This is the final Zoom Virtual Clubhouse. Enjoy the rest of the week. It's going to be an incredible finale here at Jumeirah Golf Estates for the DP World Tour Championship. Goodbye for now.